Howdy folks, and I hope you are all steering clear of the moors wherever you are in collecting land. And welcome back to the channel for another action figure unboxing and review. And today it's the turn of Syndicate Collectibles 1/12 scale take on Eddie Quist in werewolf form from the 1981 Joe Dante directed horror movie The Howling. Usual format folks, one day it won't be, just to surprise everybody, but just not today. So it'll be box, accessories, figure, then showcase at the end. But before we dive in, yes, you guessed it, a massive thank you to everyone who supported the channel. And please drop a like on this review as it helps other people find Go Figure. And if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button and bell notification icon so you don't miss any of the action figure goodness that we've got coming up. And trust me, there's a hell of a lot of it. So, The Howling, still in my top 3 favourite werewolf movies of all time, even all these years down the line, alongside American Werewolf in London and Dog Soldiers. And if you haven't seen The Howling, I highly recommend you seek it out before the next full moon. So, onto the box, let's have a quick look at it. And I've got to say, very impressed with the packaging here. This is only my second outing with Syndicate Collectibles. I have their Pumpkinhead figure, and I was really impressed with the packaging on that particular piece. And the same can be said here. What you've got on the cover here is a sort of stylized picture of Eddie Quist in wolf form, and if the light's catching this actually, you can see that what they've done here is they sort of highlighted, they put highlights in the fur there with this sort of reflective paint or print, and it just looks really effective. And I like the color schemes on here as well. You've got the full moon in the background with the tree there, then you've got this sort of edging going on with what looks like trees behind it as well, but it's in this deep red foil, and it just makes the whole package look super classy. It says The Howling at the bottom there, 1/12 scale collectible figure, Syndicate Collectibles logo there. On the right hand side, just some more trees and a moon, but just in those that same color palette, which is really effective. The Howling and Syndicate Collectibles again. Same on the right hand side. On the bottom, the usual credits and warnings. Don't piss this figure off, especially if there's a full moon, or you may live to regret it. On the top, you got on the top, and I really do like this. This was on the Pumpkinhead figure as well, as I remember. You've got this sort of clear plastic section, which looks like it's got claw marks or bite marks in it, which just I think is a nice touch. Along again with the moon and the trees in the background there. On the back, you have the Howling again, 1/12 scale collectible figure, Syndicate Collectibles Studio Canal, obviously officially licensed product, and that moon sort of picture at the bottom there with trees again. It's got a Velcro fastening, that book style of opening. Pop it open. What you are greeted with is the usual clear plastic sleeve cover on the right hand side with the figure underneath it. And on the left hand side you have a copy of the poster art from the original release of the movie. And I remember this being on the cover of the VHS video back in the day as well. So really nice touch there from Syndicate. And I've got to say, yeah, their packaging is top notch, really professional. Brand new figure, this one, literally just come through the door. The eagle-eyed amongst you will notice the seals are still intact on this boy. So let's pop those seals open, dive down onto the table and find out what this figure's all about. Okay folks, so here he is. It's Eddie Quist in werewolf form, straight out of the box and onto the turntable. And first impressions, I've got to say, first impressions are pretty good. The proportions look right to me with those elongated arms and legs. The paint applications look very good. The screen accuracy is most certainly there in the form of the figure itself. So yeah, we're off to a good start. I thought we would take a look at the accessories and the figure together here, simply because all you get are some swap out paws and a swap out head. So we'll take a look at all of it together. So let's stop him from spinning and have a quick look at the accessories, and then we'll have a close-up with Eddie himself. I'll just move him back ever so slightly. What you do get with this figure is what you normally see with this scale of figures, and other companies do this on a regular basis. It's inside the box. You get this sort of a mini cardboard backdrop. If you're wanting to use it for photography or use it as part of your display, you can do. And it sort of carries on that colour palette from the box itself, with the trees and the moon there in the background and those reds and blues going on, and it's very effective if you are wanting to use it. Not something I normally use in my display, but it's there if you want to. So yeah, that comes with the figure. And you also get, as I mentioned, you get a swap out head and some swap out paws. Let's have a quick look at them. We'll take a look at the paws first. There's a pair already on the figure itself, and you get 4 more paws, so another couple of pairs. But we'll grab a couple at random and have a look at them and see what kind of detail we're looking at here. And straight away, I am pretty impressed with these for this scale. I think Syndicate have done a cracking job here. The colour is on point as far as I can tell. It's sort of that grey, that deep grey, almost bordering on black in certain areas, but it has been shaded on here. So as you can see, there are this shading on the digits of the paws as well. On the inside of the paws, you've got some nice creasing sculpted in there. The seam lines aren't too bad with this figure. There are some visible seams, but on the whole, they're pretty obscure. So yeah, I'm going to say the moulding process on this figure's been pretty good. The sort of digits themselves end with these talons, which have been nicely painted. You've got shading on there. They're sort of this brown stroke off gold colour, which is screen accurate. And there's some nice paint applications on there to give them that talon-esque look. Paint applications on this one are very good. I have to say though, straight out of the box, it's not entirely consistent. We'll grab another one and you'll be able to see what I mean here. I think it's this one, where you can see that there's been a little bit of paint bleed there onto the ends of the digits themselves, but overall, yeah, very, very good. And a whole variety of different sort of poses going on here, from these sort of arched hands to this more sort of splayed look here. One thing I did notice with this particular hand is that for some reason the talons on this paw are nearly all black, which sort of separates it out from the other one, so it looks like there's a bit of inconsistency in the paint applications there. Yeah, I think it's gone a little bit heavy, too heavy with the shading here. It looks like the shading got a little bit carried away and it's bled a little bit onto the digits there as well. But overall, I've got to say they're pretty good for this scale, this price point. I'm quite impressed, I have to say. So yeah, that's the 4 swap out paws, and you also get the swap out head sculpt. Now, 2 head sculpts on this one. There's the one that's already on the figure with the mouth closed, and this one with the mouth open. And I've got to say, I am very, very impressed here. I think the sculpt is excellent. Unusual werewolf, this one. Those ears are very, very distinctive, and they've caught the proportions and the shape of those absolutely brilliantly, I think. Yeah, those tall, pointy ears. The fur itself is nicely sculpted there. There's individual strands, and you've got a raft of different paint applications going on here. There's the lights catching this. There are different browns, there are greys, and it looks like there's been some sort of silver, almost touches of silver, dry brushing over the top there, just to accent the fur itself. So yeah, very, very nicely done. The mouth itself, excellent, I have to say. I'm super impressed with that. You've got that wet look paint on the tongue inside the mouth there, those jaws super wide open. Teeth, very, very well sculpted, very well painted. No real bleed going on in there. So yeah, some excellent work at this scale, I've got to say. Nose is suitably glossy and black, and those eyes, very, very well painted indeed. So yeah, that is very, very good work there from Syndicate. I am suitably impressed. So yeah, let's put those to one side and bring out the main event. Let's bring him back into shot and take a close-up look at him. As I mentioned there, this stand does not come with the figure. This is not an accessory with this particular piece. It's just something I grabbed to use for the purposes of this review, so it doesn't come with this piece. Didn't have one of the smaller stands with the peg on it to hand, so I just grabbed the nearest thing. I think it's a repurposed Hot Toys stand from one of their Star Wars figures. But yeah, let's take him off the stand because he's freestanding on there and have a close-up look at him. And we'll start at the bottom as we always do and work our way up. Let's just move that turntable out of the way and get this into shot. So, the feet, yes, well, straight away, yeah, you've got that peg hole in the bottom there of the left paw, so you can use one of the 1/12 scale stands. Feet themselves, really nicely done, the right size. They are, I believe there's some give in those. There's a little bit of movement in there. I don't know whether that's pegged in. I believe it is. It feels like it's pegged in. So yeah, but the paint application is really nice. You can see the bone work in there. I'll get this as close into camera as I can. With these shaped legs, it's not the easiest thing to light, but yeah, let's just bring this light over a little bit so you can see the details here. But yeah, the paint applications are really nice with that the continuation of that sort of that grey effect paint. See if you can't dip that foot down, that's a bit better. And you can see the bone work in there. Those talons have got the same paint application as the paws on the end of the arms, and yeah, no bleed on there at all. So yeah, they're very nicely done. Moving up, now you've got, as far as articulation goes, Werewolf collectors will recognise this. I think last time I saw this was this form of articulation. It was used in the NECA, American Werewolf in London figure. But yeah, you've got 3 joints. One, you basically got 2 knees. You've got a back knee and a front knee, and they're both look like ball joints to me. No, they're not ball joints, they're peg joints, sorry. So you've got movement there in the first joint, you've got movement at the ankle, then you've got movement at the second joint there. There's no lateral movement there, it's just all forward and backward, but you can then pretty much do what you want with the legs when you combine it with the what is definitely a ball joint at the hip there. Not a vast amount of movement in there because you've got the fur, sculpted in fur at the top there, so yeah, but there's plenty of range of motion in these legs, so not a vast amount of movement outwards, so getting those legs splayed is not going to be really a massive option, but yeah, definitely a lot of room for manoeuvre depending on how you want to display this guy. Moving up, well, actually, let's take a look at the sculpt and paint work. I think the fur effect that Syndicate have captured here is very, very good. Once again, there's a few minor visible seam lines, but they're barely visible to the naked eye. And it's a continuation of that, of the same paint applications and sculpt that they've done on the heads. Individual strands of fur are picked out there, screen accurate with this sort of these wafts even of fur down the back here, where it's slightly rougher and it protrudes more from the figure itself, and they've captured that on all the way down the legs, which looks very, very good. That's silver, touches of silver dry brushing on there as well, just to pick out the details. Getting up to the waist, now you've got 2 joints at the waist. There's one immediate joint here straight above the legs themselves, and that's on a ball joint, and so you've got a full amount of swivel going on there. So you can pretty much, I think that's going to do a 360. Yeah, you can pretty much do a complete 360 on that joint. Then moving up the abdomen section, you've got a separate section for the chest there. I'm assuming that's going to be on a ball joint as well. And it's great to see, actually, when you get this close to it, you can see those proportions have been nailed on by Syndicate. It's got that lean look to it, which is sort of synonymous with the Howling. One thing I did notice out the box, and it's the ball joint in this chest area is a little bit, I wouldn't say janky, but it's a little bit loose straight out of the box. So I mean, it's not a deal breaker. It will hold a pose, but it's perhaps I'd prefer that to be a little bit, because I mean I'm moving it with one finger here. I'd prefer that to be a little bit stiffer, a bit more resistance there. I don't want it overbalancing, but yeah, chest itself really, really nicely done, and that fur sculpt and paint application is continued, and moving up to the shoulders. Now the shoulder section is interesting on this figure, because what you've got is a flap that of softer plastic that comes out here over the top of the arms themselves, which are on a ball joint again. Or are they pegged in? I think that's probably a peg. But I like what Syndicate have done here by sort of giving that section of fur which is attached to the main part of the chest there, because it covers up that joint underneath. So if you do decide to have the arms backwards like that or forwards like that, you've got that coverage there which is covering that ugly joint. So yeah, props to Syndicate there for that one. The arms themselves, once again, you've got that same joint. I think you're going to get a decent amount of. These are very, very stiff, unlike the chest section, but there is some give in there, not a huge amount. I think maybe this side might be a better example of that. Yeah, you've got more movement in that side. I would say exercise caution with these joints, because when you're pushing down there, you don't want that to snap. So maybe a hairdryer on there might be in order. It looks like, as well, as they've got a bit of a swivel going on at the shoulder there as well. So articulation is pretty good, if a little bit inconsistent in places. let's take a look at this second head sculpt now. I don't know which one I prefer. I think this one is excellent as well. I think the head sculpts really have been done exceptionally well here by Syndicate. Mouth closed or mouth open, they both look suitably vicious and suitably screen accurate. That fur, once again, it's got those silver highlights on the end. That sort of beard effect underneath the jaw is screen accurate. You don't get that quite as much with the mouth open version, but you really can see it here in the closed mouth version. It's got a suitable snarl going on there. The eyes are really well painted, as with the other head sculpt. I would say perhaps the paint application, if I can get this in really close, is not quite as accurate on those teeth there. There's a little bit of bleed coming off on the bottom there, but that's just me being ridiculously picky. But overall, I think, yeah, two cracking head sculpts. Now, swapping these head sculpts out, what you will realise, and I noticed this straight away, is you've got this neck adapter going on here, which is supposed to stay in there when you take it out, but it doesn't. It comes with the head, but it's not an issue. You simply swap it off for the and attach it to the other head, and you've got these two sleeve things going on here over the top, these fur sleeves, and once again puts me in mind of the Necro-American Werewolf in London figure, and I think it's a really great idea here. Rather than having a static neck, so when you turn it, it really minimizes the amount of articulation you've got going on in there, and I think it looks more effective as well when you've got these two pieces over, because it gives that layered effect, but it also allows for movement. So what you do essentially is pop this, and we'll try and do this on camera, pop this neck adapter off, we'll pop it onto the other one like that, and then you simply put these sleeves back on, and hopefully this is going to work on camera. Pop those two sleeves back on there, and locating that with this head can be a bit difficult, but yeah, got it first time. And then you can pop on the mouth open head sculpt. And as I say, I think that idea there of layering, of having those collars around the neck, rather than just having it as a solid neck and then having that movement restricted, it gives you a full range of motion, and those collars turn with the head, which give that impression of flow to the fur itself. So there you have it, folks. That is Syndicate Collectibles' take on Eddie Quist from the Howling. Let's pop him back on this stand. Hopefully he will stand up first time, and he has, by some miracle. Let's get him back into shot, get him spinning again, and going for final thoughts on this guy. I've got to say, I am really liking this this little chap, this 1/12 scale wolf. I think this werewolf, I think they've done a cracking job here, Syndicate Collectibles. There's a few minor niggles, a little bit of paint bleed here and there. I think that chest ball joint could be a little bit less janky, but it's not, as I say, it's not a deal breaker. I still think it still holds a pose, and it still works really well. So there you have it, folks. That's Syndicate Collectibles' take on Eddie Quist. Let's give this guy a score. I think, well, proportions, absolutely nailed on. Paint applications, very good, bar some niggles with those hands, as I said. Screen accuracy is definitely there. I was tempted to give this a 10, but I'm going to have to take a point, maybe a point and a half off for the jankiness of that section in the chest there, and some minor issues with paint bleed, but they're only minor. They really are. I think what they've given us here, Syndicate, is an absolutely fantastic take on Eddie Quist from the Howling. I'm really pleased to have it in the collection. I think Syndicate Collectibles are going from strength to strength, and hopefully we're going to see more of this same high quality subject matter coming from in the future. So there you have it, folks. We'll go with an 8.5 on this guy. That feels right. So yeah, it's an 8.5 for Eddie Quist. So what are your thoughts on this piece? Do you have any Syndicate Collectibles stuff in your collection? Have you got this one? What are your thoughts on the movie? What are your thoughts on anything at all? Nothing, as always, is off menu, so please drop a comment in the comment section below. What else have we got coming up on the channel? Well, in the not too distant future, we have a raft of new 1/6 scale reviews coming from Hot Toys, Pure Arts, In Art, Susu Toys, Present Toys, Exo6. We've got a load of new reviews of different scales. We've got statues, we've got quarter scale stuff, we've got memorabilia, we've got showcases, we've got a lot of stuff on the horizon. So as I mentioned at the top there, be sure to hit that subscribe button and bell notification icon so you're not missing anything. So I suppose all that remains for me to say is from Eddie Quist from the Howling and myself, take care of yourself as always, happy collecting, and it's over to the showcase.